required. But
we played with Eric in the office. He's Doa for anyone who watches StarCraft caster. And he liked going to the bard, and he would be like, okay, I roll a 20 in order to sing you all a fair and lovely tune. And then he would sing.
The end.
It was fun.
End.
It was the end. That was it. And then he actually robbed us all because he robbed us blind while we weren't looking because he went a thief bard and he stole all of our gear and murdered us while we were in our sleep and set us upon each other.
I'll quote Joshie on this one. What a D-hole. Ari and Alistar are being banned out here for Fnatic. Alistar a new ban for them here. Corki and Maokai, either one of them could be left over here. Shen, Karthus, similar bans for Gamehoppers at the moment. But yeah, so Maokai has been left open. It's just a matter of what will Gamehoppers do for their last. Anivia and Malphite are potentials here. Nocturne was the third ban they went with the game one. We'll see if they can also stick with that one.
Yeah, Urgot's also a potential, ban or pick as well. Yeah. But the big thing is, I mean, they were able to control the bottom lane despite the Urgot, so not that big of a deal. If Fnatic, if they decide to take Soraka, Soraka ban. So, yeah, that definitely works. I mean, they were almost a lot of the reason that they were, an unkillable team. If you give them Soraka and they get to run the same team again, that's just even worse. So, they recognized that Fnatic would likely first pick that Soraka. Didn't want to give that up. But Maokai, since it wasn't banned out that last game, being able to pick it up this game. So, a really aggressive jungler and, has that AoE control.
Fantastic, fantastic AoE suppression. From the ult, a lot of damage reduction there. And Anivia being considered her first pick, well, for part of the second picks here for Gamehoppers, not too uncommon. It's like, hey, you guys did pretty well with this champ. Let's show you how it's done. Let's go ahead and take it away from you, just so you don't have it, just so it can work for our game plan. And right now, Gamehoppers, they did have a lot of AoE actually, a decent amount of AoE for game number one. But here's the thing, though. You're going up against the Maokai, which is quite a bit. Janna is a good pick here, too, for that disengage, just to get everybody off of you, because you had Malphite, you had Urgot, you had York, a lot of champs in close combat there.
Yeah, and any sort of Janet and Anivia comp, you can control fights very well. You're almost unkillable just, with all of the CC that you have. So that's definitely, those are definitely some really nice picks. They have a really heavy CC team right now. Fnatic, on the other hand, going with that AoE and some solid initiation. Sona still a really strong pick for them. Allows them to force those engages. We'll see. They actually might hold off on her and go with the Orianna. That would be interesting because the Malphite-Orianna combo is particularly strong. Any number of choices. I mean, anything that they would like to go ahead with.
The mid has already been decided for Gamehoppers, so they don't have to go for Orianna straight away. They can wait on it. They know she's not going to be getting picked here, so they can just go something a little bit more safe and try and secure an AD that they may want. Ezreal being a pretty damn good one. Didn't work too well for Gamehoppers, but this is an opportunity for Fnatic to go ahead and get crazy, get ridiculous with it, and also sticking with the Malphite. So if the Orianna pick does indeed stick. Oh, actually gonna go with it right there. Might as well see if they can't bait out the Malphite pick now.
I'm curious whether or not Gamehoppers will want to pick Malphite now, because the issue is Ezreal is a very strong kind of champion against Malphite. We saw that last game. Raleigh was able to play a really fantastic Ezreal. So Fnatic, they didn't want them to pick Ezreal, and they want to pick up Malphite themselves probably. Now, without the Ezreal for Gamehoppers to pick up, they're going to have a number of AD champions that are going to be vulnerable to Malphite and vulnerable to his initiation and his attack speed slow and stuff like that. So they're naturally, if Fnatic gets Malphite, then Gamehoppers is naturally going to have an AD that's going to be vulnerable to him. So they might have to pick Malphite here to prevent that out, because the Malphite-Orianna combo can be very strong. The issue for them is going to be, if they pick Malphite, then Ezreal's still going to be strong with them. So we'll see. Tristana, definitely a nice choice. So that means they're actually probably not going to pick up the Malphite. They'll let him have him because Tristana has enough range, can usually stay out of that range. So hopefully that's the case. But if Malphite can get in, then he could shut him down.
Kog'Maw works too, though. Very safe on the back line, and plus you also have the shield from Janet for a little bit extra damage. But going for the Shyvana pick as well. Not sure yet if jungle or top lane, but that's the thing though. I feel that Gamehoppers are like, oh, they want us to pick Malphite. They're trying to to bait us in and trying to force us to get the pick here. But that allows Fnatic to go ahead and pick that up. Sona going to be with Ezreal in the bot lane. That aura can be doing a huge chunk of damage along with Ezreal and all that harass. But Yorick being grabbed last for the Game Hoppers.
I mean, Fnatic, they're perfectly happy with the picks. They got the team that they wanted by picking the Ezreal. They were able to kind of force Game Hoppers' hand. And I'm kind of surprised that Game Hoppers running the Yorick as opposed to someone with a little bit more AoE damage to control the fights. But Yorick is definitely a really strong pick in this situation. The big thing is being able to ult Kog'Maw. Yorick's going to have a target this game, so we'll see if he can repeat Soaz's fantastic performance. I always love that when you have the throwback and one person will play the champion and then the next team grabs them. But we'll see. I mean, Fnatic, they have really strong AoE initiation. Their AoE team fight is awesome. They're also very tanky. So Orianna coupled with Maokai and Malphite, it'll be tough for them to take Game Hoppers to take them down. Then Ezreal's going to be safe in the back line. He can clean up very easily in those later fights. We'll see. A lot of it's going to come down to Cog, and they have the team to support him.
Now, mentioned it. We talked about it last game. Going to have to talk about it again because the situation is still abounds. So with the Yorick pick, this does allow Game Hoppers. It gives them the opportunity for the lane switch. They can just send their AD support up top, have Yorick go bot. Still, what's your opinion? Do you think there's still a possibility here?
With Kog'Maw, not very likely. I don't know if I've ever seen a lane switch with Kog'Maw. They could potentially do it. There's an easy way for us to tell.
There is.
If we just check the runes and masteries, same runes. Mastery's actually ambiguous, so it's a little bit different from last game. He does have that armor. There is kind of the potential for that, but so we'll have to see. I don't think they're going to. And Ezreal and Sona, they have a lot of single target bursts. So once they clear the minion wave, they can take you down pretty quickly. And that's going to be a concern for Cog. But Cog has enough range that he's going to be able to farm pretty safely against that lane. Cog can just generally farm against anyone. He can out harass Ezreal when he's behind the minions. So we'll see how that'll work. I think that they'll just send Yorick top versus Malphite, but we'll have to see. Yorick does very well against Malphite. I mean, he's not going to be able to shut him down or anything, but they'll both kind of just farm up there.
Yeah, and just a few errant ghouls just go ahead, bring down the shield, force him back, and then you just we got a happy time. We're farming. We're fine. But I'm also noticing too the synergy that Orianna has with the rest of Fnatic, because the common combo you see. You have the orb on the Malphite, ults on into the fight, and then you follow up with the Orianna. Maokai,
or the uncommon combo where she orbs onto Ezreal and he flashes into the middle of the team.
He could do that too, or
that's really not going to happen.
Well, here's the thing though, but more reasonable than that, you can also throw the orb onto Maokai as he twisted advances in.
Both Maokai and Malphite are perfect targets
for
really
Orianna. And it's just it's a contingency plan just in case one of them fails or if one of them gets a little bit too happy going into these fights. But then you do have Maokai is usually going to be like the first initiator. Mm-hmm. If you get the single target, focus him down. If the rest of the team is there trying to defend, it's like no, give us our guy back, get him out of those roots. Then you can follow up with the Malphite. Then you follow up with the Orianna ult. So Ezreal though is going to be doing most of the damage here though. But if you had to pick a champ in a situation like this, it's a good choice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this works out for Game Hoppers. Now, Fnatic, one of the nice things with their team, not only do they have that strong AoE initiation, but they also have really nice kiting. With both Orianna and Sona, they can disengage pretty easily, and that's the big thing. If you whiff on the Orianna ultimate or any of these ultimates, you don't want to have to be forced to fight, because if they don't hit their ultimates, then all of a sudden, Game Hoppers is in a really huge advantage in these fights. They have more spammability with the Nivea as far as CC. They have more damage from the back line, with the Kog'Maw and the Yorick ultimate. So Fnatic, if they don't hit their fights, they probably need to just get out of there, and they have the opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that works. Shyvana was definitely a really strong pick for Game Hoppers, though, because Maokai, he's a very aggressive jungler, but he is susceptible to those kind of control junglers, and Shyvana is, amongst the best in the game. And it's really cool seeing her come back into play. Now we've seen her a lot recently. So she's incredibly tanky, incredibly fast in jungle. Not only that, she has Janna to pair along with her. So Janna and Shyvana, that's always a really awesome combo. Having that movement speed early in the game on Shyvana, you can just roam all over the jungle. I would expect some really aggressive early counter jungling of Maokai, particularly if he's looking to, gank ever. And then also the best part about Shyvana is when Maokai goes in for a gank, Shyvana's almost always going to be there waiting for him.
Yep. And also a very aggressive Shyvana at that, going for the Smite Exhaust. No flash, no escape. You zoom in for a kill, you'll want to try and guarantee it the best you can. You're looking for those kills. You're looking to be aggressive. Kog'Maw, though, does have the cleanse. Wants to make sure you save. There's a lot of ignites right there in Fnatic, but yet only the one exhaust. But there's still the opportunities abound for a lot of CC on the Kog'Maw, indicative of a protecting comp as well. So both of these ADs are just it's going to be a long fight to try and just reach the backline to reach both of them.
Yeah, and Kog'Maw, he does have the cleanse to help him primarily against Sona and Maokai. However, in fights, having the Malphite and the Orianna, the double knock-up there, if they can get into that backline, it will be very strong. Janna will be an issue with how much CC she can provide, but Malphite, it's going to be tough. Malphite's ult range is very close to Kog's attack range, so you can't, initiate from a long distance like you normally would against most AD carries. He would really already have to be in the middle of the fight before he can initiate. So we'll see whether or not Soaz can find those opportunities and make things happen, or if Raleigh is just going to be carrying again and super fed, and instead of playing Ezreal, he's playing Kog'Maw.
Broto actually going for the Cloth 5 pots on Shyvana, so looking for the early razors. Trying to, it's not going to be too aggressive, but was really looking to rush that Wriggles, get that purchased, possibly do some counter jungling as soon as humanly possible. But both the supports, though, looking for the Fairy Charm, stocking up on wards and potions as well. So nothing really too aggressive coming from either one of them. Usually if you see boots on a support, it means something like an invade. But then again, these are not really the most invading supports, no real hard CC. Granted, you have Tornado and Janna, but you'll usually see the shield on her first.
Yeah, and no free level 1 kills for Fnatic this game. So we'll see how Gamehoppers does without that quick disadvantage.
I understand after that, though, I'm sure that they must be a little bit paranoid. And you saw they got out of the gate a little bit faster this time, too. So they're like, okay, guys, we gotta hurry it up. Come on, just buy your stuff and get out.
Yeah, even spamming into the jungle, despite the fact that Maokai, you usually don't invade when you have Maokai. They're still, concerned about giving Fnatic any sort of early advantage. Cyanide will be able to take the Wraiths and then head over to the blue. And Shyvana actually starting up top as well, so probably going to go for the red. Maybe go for a quick level 2 gank, up in that top lane. Shyvana's going to beat out Maokai a little bit, or at the very least, try and counter out Maokai if he's heading in the top. No, Broto transitioning over. So this is actually, this jungling route, when you start off at Wraiths and then go over to blue, not only does it allow Kog and Janna to pick up the wolves there for golden experience in that bottom lane, it also means that you're going to hit level 4 on your way back. Actually, I'm not sure if they'll hit level 4 without the wolves. That's kind of a close thing. But the race will be respawned by the time Broto gets back over there.
So yeah, blue should be secured. Not going to be using the smite though. Just wants to save it for. Wants to go ahead and save it for the red buff. Cyanide going to be a little bit behind Shyvana, just a little bit speedier in this aspect. But you see right now, Broto just hiking back and forth. Running the air is like, now I got to go here, now I got to go here. Looking for the red. Wraiths should be responding pretty soon as well too. So we'll see where Broto decides to go from here. And like I mentioned before, it's cloth armor, not the boots. Not going to be exactly too mobile, but wants that early razors.
Yeah, but actually, even without the early boots, he still has plenty of movement speed with his W and with Janna. And by this jungling route, he's going to get level 4 off of the Wraiths and off of the Golem. I'm fairly certain. And then he's going to have a really aggressive gank. He's already, what was his movement speed again? He's already at 411. Movement speed when his W's up, or I guess it depends. It's kind of changing around. Oh, that must have been changing champions, but it's really high. That's the point.
It's high enough.
And he can come into that top lane, try and chase down Malphite. Malphite, with the Q, he will be able to steal all that movement speed and get out of there pretty easily, but he might still take some damage that'll throw Yorick ahead in that lane.
Yeah, and plus also when you're facing up against a Yorick, the best pop opportunity for you is just to try and deny them early. So at the very least, Soaz is going to just try and keep him in mid, hoping that Maokai doesn't come up. But here comes Broto looking for the top lane. There is the Q. All the damage going down onto Soaz. Would be able to get here. Ignite going down. El Muppo, can he connect? No. No flashes or Ignite being burned for Soaz. Still drinking those potions though.
Yeah, and so he got down to 250 because he didn't want to have to burn that flash. He was able to get out of there with the movement speed from the Q, but now all of a sudden he's completely zoned from the lane. El Muppo's in control there. he could try and push him into the tower, but it's actually not going to be fast enough. Yorick can't push waves fast enough at this point in the game. So it was a nice opportunity for Malphite to go back. He's going to miss some golden experience, but he'll be able to get back up in the lane just as it pushes into his tower. And so far, bot lane, Lamia and Phelox, with that range poke advantage, they're just zoning Cog out of the wave. And this is really where Ezreal shines. When you can start zoning them off the wave, where they can't just hide behind those minions to dodge those Qs, you just chase them down, and you get all that damage. Like we saw the last game when he was able to chase down Urgot for that kill.
Yep. Granted, when Kog'Maw does hit 6, though, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. But for now, for the time being, Ezreal's in a really good spot right now. Meanwhile, in mid, you have Ori trying to get the slow down on a Broto and a Hawkden. The wall, very nice wall. The Ignite, will you get the kill there? Auto-tech the shield, last second. Well, Hawkden in a little bit of trouble, is egged. Do you have enough damage? Yes, you do. First blood. XPK on the counter gank with Maokai.
Yeah, just kind of careless play. They wanted the kill. They were going really aggressively for it. They almost were able to pick it up on XPK. But then Anivia should have been able to back out of there and be safe in that lane. Unfortunately, just trying to get a couple more hits, was hit by the turret, 2 shots from the turret, and then almost going down. The whirlwind from Janna trying to back off Lamia. They are underneath the turret now, so they can, finally be kind of safe farming. But even so, that constant harass,
kind is a relative term here, I think, here. Because even then, trying to get that farm, he's still in quite a bit of danger. El Muppo being forced to tower by Cyanide and Soaz. So it's like, okay, fine. You got that. You got the early gank. You forced me out of lane. That is our opportunity to try and push you, to get aggressive on you. And Fnatic right there, they're going for it. There's the dive. Twisted advance down under tower. El Muppo is hurting quite a bit. Ignite going down. Cyanide barely able to make it out of there, taking that turret. Very well done.
Yeah, they were easily able to get out of there. Cyanide, he also had the flash as well, so he could have gotten out of there, a little bit quicker if he needed to. But they recognize they're fairly tanky. Maokai, he has the passive, so he's going to, proc a little bit of HP underneath the turret, and they're able to quickly pick up that kill since he was low. Broto going to pick up some nice, golden experience for himself in that top lane. But now that Soaz, is a little bit ahead of Yorick, he can control the lane fine. I mean, both of them, neither of them really have the damage to force the other out of the lane. Yorick should be fine to just constantly heal himself up and constantly spam on those minions. But he does have to start watching out that if they don't start diving him a little bit more, try and wear him down and then just ult with Malphite.
How close is Muppo to 6 actually? I'm kind of curious.
He's almost there. So
Muppo,
like 2 minions.
York.
Muppo. Oh, sorry. Yes, York. He's slightly further away, so he has about a full wave left to go. Yeah, maybe a little bit more than a wave.
Because I'm thinking of Soaz, if Maokai decides to grace top with his presence once again, there may be a small timing attack window for when Malphite is 6 and Yorick isn't, for a really quick and dirty initiation and possibly another kill. But it's going to be a very, very tight window. And it looks like Maokai is actually not going to be coming up top lane for that. So it could have been another gank before you got it, but there you go. Yorick is now 6. The opportunity is gone.
Yeah, and even with the ultimate, Yorick doesn't necessarily become particularly stronger at surviving. It's just that he can maybe turn it around on him after he dies. So that is going to be a concern. It has been nice to see, though, XPK, how successful he's been in the mid lane. That early kill was definitely huge. Being able to take down Nivea and survive that gank, survive all their summoners. But Orianna is very strong with lane harass, and if you hit the Qs, then you can control the lane against almost anyone. So XPK doing a nice job. He's actually zoning Hawkden a lot of times. Now that Hawkden has the blue, he should be okay, but just, getting chunked down repeatedly by XPK.
And that really shows, how well those quality of life improvements for Orianna have really been recently with those patches. Just like you can see, just all that damage, just instant. So as with the ultimate down onto El Muppo, twisted advance, post flash, keeping him still. There's the ult down onto York. And, I think it was a nice little baiting it out there. So another twisted advance. If Cyanide decides to camp out the lane, that ult will not be available. They can secure the kill on Muppo a little bit easier. But alas, Broto is here. He's like, hey, don't pick up my guy. Get out.
Yeah, and actually Sona with the ultimate. Raleigh with that cleanse, actually the Ezreal ultimate as well. So he's very low, but he doesn't go down. And Yeah, I mean, that top lane, Yorick's just slightly too tanky. I'm surprised they weren't able to take him down. Shyvana is making his way up in this top lane. We'll see if he can pull in the ward, so he's going to be fine. But it's interesting to see, the difference in playstyles on Ezreal's across the board, because Kog'Maw is a very auto-attack-centric champion, and so a lot of Ezreal's now are maxing Essence Flux for that harass and to, for the attack speed slow to shut down those kind of champions. However, in this game, Lamia, he's not going for the Essence Flux early. He's going for the Mystic Shot. So because he knows that he was able to zone Cog out of the minion wave path a little bit, he knows he's able to hit those Qs a little bit more easily than normal. It opens up the opportunity to have that quick burst and just chase him down. Not really that concerned about hitting those Ws as much.
Yeah, it's also may actually see a little bit extra insight of what the game plan is once the item build starts to improve a little bit as well. Because for now, Dorn's Blade and Vamp Scepter doesn't really say a whole lot, but you do see a lot of Ezreal's opting for either Infinity Edge or the Trinity. So we'll see where it goes from there. But I think he might want to be going for the damage. I think he may be going for the Infinity.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That early sustain is definitely, really nice for that lane to just constantly abuse Raleig's here. Raleig's doing a decent job. He's, definitely behind, but he's keeping himself up in farm. So we'll see how successfully he can continue to farm. Shyvana coming bottom was kind of unusual because they aren't generally going to pressure them underneath the tower. Maokai is not usually going to gank that lane. Sona's ult was down. They knew they had just used it. So when the ult is down, there's not really a big potential for them to harass there. But Anivia doing a nice job kind of moving around the ball. If you can, as long as you can avoid Orianna's balls and get in between her, that's the key. Usually, then you're going to be okay. But wow, that spammability! I didn't realize that the cooldown was so short. That was a 1 second cooldown, 1.8 second.
That's quite a bit. That's a lot. And does Ori still have the blue buff, actually?
Yeah, she does.
That's a big part of it. That's a huge part of it. And Ezreal actually does end up going with the Sheen, so he will be working for the Trinity. We'll be looking for a lot more burst. But not to say that after Trinity's done, he also, if the game keeps on going along, Nvidia is pretty good on too. But still, you're going to have a lot of sustain there with the spell vamp as well. So we'll see if we'll see how Ezreal continues to build here after that. XPK getting a lot of just quality time with the minions there in mid, and there's also a dragon being picked up from Fnatic really quick. It's just bot lanes away. You might as well.
Yeah, and I'm still just astounded they're able to pick up that dragon. I know that that's how Orianna was buffed, which is a really nice buff to her to reduce the cooldown. They reduced it from 4 seconds to 3 seconds on her Q, but just actually seeing the spammability is perfect because that's the kind of playstyle you want to see from Orianna.
I'm taking notes, and I'm probably going to buy Orianna later today. Because I just want to give all that a shot. There you go, Sona ult coming on down onto Janna here. The thing is that will she be able to get away? Yes, because there's a dragon here, and Lamia is in a rough spot. Exhaust going down to guarantee that, and there you go, Shyvana picking up that one. Stop pushing, Ezreal. We've had enough.
Yeah, and with the exhaust, they're able to easily shut down his attack damage there. And then Shyvana coming in. El Mupo actually chasing down Soaz. I'm not sure he has enough mana, though, so the ult underneath the turret, he is getting very low. Soaz can chase this down. El Mupo actually has enough mana now, but the flash in, he tries to pick it up, just isn't enough to do it.
That E from Yorick just on a minion for a little bit of the sustain saved his butt. Big time. Allowed him all that extra regen, just enough health to get away from that one free and easy. So Philox just still standing guard here. He's like, okay, you're taking the turret. I can't really stop you at the moment. Ezreal's not quite back from lunch yet, but he is going to be coming into lane, and we'll be back for the next minion wave. Meanwhile, top lane, we do have Shyvana edging it out here with Soaz. Could be enough damage. Actually, the ult is down, flash is down, everything's down. Easy kill for Broto.
Too fast. You can't run from a dragon.
Nope, no, you cannot. Well, you can ult away from a dragon, but unfortunately enough, it was down. Didn't use it.
The big thing was that Soaz, he was low on mana after that last fight. So he used the Q. Actually, I guess he wasn't. Maybe he was. I don't know. Yeah. But he used the Q, and the Q should be enough to get him away, but it just wasn't enough. The Whirlwind onto Phalanx, though, he's getting very low. And actually, the flash from Cog, one more attack could do it. If he hits the ultimate, he does pick up that kill. Fortunately, though, Lamia is here, but the nice ultimate, the Monsoon from Flumis, able to get him out of there. And now Shyvana in this top lane once again, but they were able to just barely get away from Lamia.
I mean, he's still trying to get something. He's like, oh no, missed opportunity. I could have made a lot more of that. But Broto's still here in the top lane, camping it out. May get something here on the Cyanide if he's still sticking around. There you go. You got the burnout, twisted advance to keep Shyvana still, and plenty of time for him to get to tower to safety.
Yeah, so they will be safe there. XPK, while he knows that Shyvana's up top, will be able to grab those wraiths. That's a nice job. Soaz is going to catch up a little bit, with the golden experience here at this wave. But Yorick, they're actually dead even in this lane. So, really nice play. Soaz, Malphite has a little bit more of an impact later on in the game. But as we saw last game, just having that tanky kind of spam ability, that kiting potential on Yorick can be huge. And, this game, having the Cog to follow up with the damage will definitely be interesting to see.
Lamia is looking to push the lane, though. Does throw off the ult, but I think getting a little bit too big for his britches there, or big for his Mega Man suit even. Sona ult going down. Mr. Rowley's trying to chunk him out, but right now Lamia's actually focusing down Janet. They're both ridiculously low. Oh, there you go. Auto attack. Phelox just a little bit of a harass there. Then no, Kog'Maw will not be able to get too much off of his passive. There you go. The support and AD wiped out off the map from Fnatic. Very well played.
Yeah, nice job from Lamia taking the safe route here. Maokai coming up in the top lane. They might decide to dive this. Elmipo is low on mana, but it would be really dangerous, particularly since Shyvana is making the way up top as well. Soaz has to back off. They see Shyvana, so they'll get out of there.
Yep.
But that bottom lane, it was kind of interesting. Lamia focusing down Janna, and part of it is that Janna's closer. He knows he can kind of guarantee that kill,
right.
But he probably could have gotten into Ezreal, so we'll see what that was about. But the big thing was he knew that their exhaust was almost up, and it came up right after that fight. But actually, Cyanide engaging onto Shyvana, the short ult, he isn't able to get quite out of there. The Orianna ult to continue, but there's the exhaust on Broto. He should be able to get out of here, but Maokai still chasing.
Nice.
And there you go. He goes down pretty easily, and now they have El Mupo right in their sights. The twisted advance, they should be able to chase him down. Some damage from Soaz. Another kill for Fnatic.
The pursuit is too much, and also there is vision on Hawkden. That Tri-Brush was warded. They see the bird was around, but very wisely retreating on back to mid lane. And there is that pursuit capabilities coming in actually from Fnatic. It's just absolutely incredible. Like, you're not getting out of there. You're just not getting out.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully they're okay. XPK DCing once again. Shyvana calling the lag on the ult, which I don't know. It looked like he just kind of short-armed it, but I could definitely see that being the case. And if he was able to get a full ult, he would have been able to get out of there.
Yeah, but there was the twisted advance in pursuit though.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Regardless, Fnatic doing a nice job, to pressure this lead here. Kog'Maw, he went with the Zeal, but before he had the Wriggles, so a lot of times he'll go Wriggles in that Zeal. As a result of going the Zeal, it's actually going to be a while before he's completing any big items. He has 200 gold right now, so it's going to be minimum 25 minutes before he has any serious items to his name. As a result, he's going to be a little bit low on damage. He has the Janna and he has his W for that damage output, but it's still going to be a concern for them if they can't pump out enough damage with that Kog'Maw, and then if Fnatic's nice tanky AoE team and Orianna's awesome spam ability can win those fights.
Go back to the gold totals. I just want to see how Ezreal is doing as well. In terms of the gold lead, though, it's minimal. It's about 500 over the enemy AD, but still he's working for that Trinity.
Yeah,
so
but you want to ask about
away.
gold lead.
If you want, wow.
6-6-6-6. Orianna 192 CS, 1549 in the game.
That clock lady is the devil, to tell you. Devil. She's the devil.
She's the devil woman.
Yeah.
No, but she's able to farm very successfully, push the mid lane. She's getting all the CS in the mid lane, and then running over and stealing their wraiths constantly. And it's unusual to be able to put on that much pressure and steal the wraiths from Shyvana, because Shyvana's just such a fast jungler. The big thing with Shyvana when she first became popular was that she was one of the few junglers where you could clear your entire jungle and still have time for other things, still have time for snacks and
I could have a drink on the porch.
Right, and that's, I mean, that's the big thing with Shyvana. Most other junglers, they have to be like, oh, I don't have time to farm the jungle right now. I have to gank or something. But
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter with that jungling speed. Orianna able to just constantly steal those wraiths is, really well farmed. I mean, it's astounding how far ahead he is in this game. So he is going to be in complete control of those mid game fights.
Yeah, I'm also looking at the goal difference there. Top lane, it's a K. It's 1,000 gold difference right now between the Malphite and the Yorick, and Soaz is doing really well for himself. You have had all the support on the ganks, great synergy with the Orianna, with the Maokai. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. And here we go. He's back. XPK is back. We're going to resume this and get back into this madness.
It is interesting to me, though, that Orianna going for the Ionian boots for the cooldown reduction and then the mana regen. So all about spammability and utility to the team rather than, that quick burst damage. And that's kind of where a lot of Oriannas fail in team fights is you're looking for burst damage, you're looking to just AoE someone, and then you don't have enough, or if they're able to, avoid your ball, then you can't hit the ultimate or something. You can't quite finish them up.
Right.
But with the cooldown reduction, hitting max CDR on that ball, just being able to constantly spam those movements, and then having the mana to follow it up is actually a really nice build.
That's really huge. That's really huge. But things, again, if you're being that spammable, I mean, magic penetration, those boots kind of become a little bit, less valuable. It's like, I'm already doing so much damage with my attack move. Plus, I already have the synergy with my ult with the rest of my team. I just want to make sure I have it up for the situations when I really, really need it. So that's really the big important thing too, because the ult cooldown, you just want to make sure you have it, because you don't want to be in a team fight. You have everything set up and your ult is just not up yet.
Yeah, so we'll have to see, how Fnatic will pressure this. I mean, they're definitely in nice control, but they'll probably wait until the next dragon. That should be up in like 2 minutes, I believe. I think it's around 19.
It should be around there, yeah.
But Shyvana coming in the bottom lane, really just to protect against ganks, and they don't expect that they're going to be able to engage on Sona and Ezreal. It would just be so difficult for them, but it does protect them from some of that damage. Raleigh is getting very low.
Defensive.
The Sona ultimate gets them out of there, but Ezreal still bursting down Cog consistently.
Yeah, Dragon actually did come back up there, so
right.
yeah, he's around. He's back in town a little bit earlier than we expected, but it's nice as a good visit. It's always fun when he's around. But here's the thing, that's a big objective right now, and Malphite is doing such a great job top, keeping El Mapo away from the rest of the team. And here's the thing, mid's being pushed, bots being pushed. Fnatic, if they really want to, just go ahead and take the opportunity when everything is down and make a big dragon push there. Top turret going down, tier 1. Fnatic's got that. There you go. Soaz with the ult down on the Hawkton. Nice flash away, right barely before the Orianna ult starts on up. Saved your butt. Nice timing. And
he was trapped. He was in a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
He knew it. But even so, the flash is down. This tower is very low. They're pushing into the tower. Bot lane was forced to go back because Cog was so low. So Fnatic gets a unimpeded dragon. They're able to take that very easily. And so it does continue in their gold lead. So they'll have an 8K gold lead. Actually, a little bit less than that because Yorick is pushing down this top lane. He can maybe get some pressure on there, but we'll see whether or not they try and push somewhere. Shyvana and Anivia actually making their way over to the blue, so really nice job there, recognizing while they're going for the dragon, they can maybe steal it. No, they're not going to go for it. So just trying to make sure they can kill this top lane quickly.
Yeah, top lane, it's right now it's at half. El Mapo needs so much help that he actually ults himself for a little bit of extra damage output there, but Hawkton, with all that help, should be able to take down. But there you go, XPK is in the neighborhood. This could be very dangerous. Malphite ult, actually both the ults are not up. There's looking for resters, looking for damage to get Gamehoppers out of there. Get out of our lane. We know our turret's down. Just get out.
Yeah, and that was actually kind of a minor thing, but it was a if you saw Orianna when she threw off the QW, it was a nice another example of the changes to Orianna, because it used to be you would throw that off, there would be a little bit too long of a delay. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have been able to hit that. You have to wait until the Q is completely stopped. But she was able to get off that quick burst of the QW combo and get a little bit of harassed. And it didn't really make a difference at this point, but you can see the difference from old Orianna to new Orianna and how that could impact team fights later. But Shyvana, in the meantime, Cyanide with the twisted advance. Nice. The Shyvana ultimate able to get out of there, even with the twisted advance. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if it breaks it or if it's just too short of a duration for it to last.
Good question, actually. But I think it was done actually before I think the dragon animation finished before the twisted advance actually hit, but that twisted advance will actually hit. There you go, cleanse away from the Kog'Maw, forcing that out of there. And the flash, very well done there. Just go ahead and burn that. That tri-brush is warded. Surprised Cyanide actually didn't go ahead and clear that, but I think they can go back now and finally do it because Lamia has pushed the wave. And that bot tier 1 should also be going down. So you got Fnatic now moving as a unit through enemy territory. And ults are up accordingly. They could, if they find one stray member of Gamehoppers, just melt them pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's the really nice benefit of Fnatic's team with both Orianna and Sona is their hard initiation and get out of there.
Nice.
Lamia actually with the quick kill. Shyvana in the middle of the team trying to get over there, but will get pretty low. And Fnatic transitioning down to this bottom lane.
You do have Soaz on the edge of the force along with XPK. This could be really bad for Gamehoppers if they get the perfect initiation that they want. You got the orb going down for a little bit of harass behind the turret. It's very nice, very tricky. Soaz out in front. There is the ultimate Orianna ult. Can you go ahead and help connect with this? There goes El Muppo. There you go, keeping everybody still with that ult. Hawkton getting very low off that. Does still have the egg, I believe.
Yeah, and so we'll see if they actually pressure this second turret, because the big thing, their ultimates are down, but they didn't need to pick up the kills. They're able to just very safely use the ultimates and back off. They don't have to fully commit themselves, which is an issue that you often see, with like Malphite. But they were all very low. They're actually not able to pressure this because Cog gets back. So I thought they might be able to grab a turret. They're not quite able to pick up the kills they would like, but even so, it allows them to continue pressuring lanes, continue to get farm advantages. And then we'll see, if they hit that beautiful combo later in the game, they could just easily, instantly win a fight against Gamehoppers.
Pretty much. I mean, if you get at least 2 Gamehoppers guys in that thing, you're gone. You're pretty much dead. And even if Jen is even a part of that,
gone.
And it's gone. And if Jan is a part of that too, like she may actually go down quick enough to where the monsoon is just a non-issue. Even it's like everyone's already trapped. It's like you're already hugely CC'd. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, so we'll see what they can kind of pressure. Maokai and Lamia making their way up to this top red. Broto going to get caught out of position. We'll see if he can steal it. He does root the red actually in place, and so Ezreal trying to take it, but the smite from Broto, he's able to get it and get out of there.
Very well done. But when you're in a situation where you have to steal your own buffs, it's a little rough. Lamia trying to get the chunk damage onto El Muppo before he gets away. Soaz out in front, and yes, will manage to get the kill with the slam, but unfortunately he's behind the turret. That's going to be a lot of damage, and Shyvana will go ahead and pick up that one.
Yeah, he flashed in just as Hawkton came up there, so I don't think he was expecting the Anivia wall.
No.
He thought he could just walk out of there, but really nice play, able to take him down. And yeah, so I mean, it was an even exchange. However, there's 3 members for Fnatic up top right now, while Cog is still farming bottom. And Cog really needs to continue farming 1,300, so he still is a ways off of finishing an item. And then they can pressure this top lane. Cyanide can just force him out of here, and actually Lamia might follow it up. He has the twisted advance, the knockback onto Broto. He should be able to get out, but they are low, and so as a result, they're going to get this tier 2 tower.
And Hawkton getting hugely chunked out there in mid as well. I believe he has been egged. Yes, Orianna.
Oh, wow.
Can you get the chunk before the turret kills? There's the wall off. Oh, Ignite may actually finish it. No. Very well done from Hawkton.
Yeah, really nice job, and Lamia just a little bit over-aggressive trying to pick it up. They do get the second tier turret, though. They're 11k, or actually just 10k ahead right now. And so we'll see if they can continue pressuring these turrets. Anivia can stall out pushes pretty easily, so they need to continue doing these kind of split pushes. That's why XPK was sitting mid as opposed to coming up top with his team to keep Anivia away from there. But we'll see. Anivia, with the walls and the CC that they have, Cog has such great range that they can just, attack them from a distance. And they have the serious team fight advantage with the range if they can avoid the ultimate combos. So it's key for Fnatic to continue pressuring them and try and pick people off. Instead of fighting these major fights.
El Muppo caught out a little bit too far there, but you do have Cyanide here just in case anyone else from Gamehoppers decides to get aggressive in there for that counter gank. But now is also probably around the time where Fnatic could be considering Baron. It's still, not the greatest Baron team in the world.
Yeah.
Very much the same story as with Game 1. But if they have the positional advantage, if they can go ahead and push every lane, the proper ward coverage, they can also just try and enforce it because they have the fantastic initiation for it.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can force it. The issue is not only do they have a weak Baron team, but Anivia is very strong in those kind of river fights. We'll be able to zone them off throw off a wall and maybe split them in half when Malphite tries to ult into them. So that's going to be an issue for them. But Fnatic is more than comfortable with taking this dragon. Maybe they can transition up to the blue afterwards. The Maokai Oracles will be able to clear up that ward if they try and go for it. They saw Yorick up top. They still have the ward up there, so they see Yorick. They saw Anivia and Janna mid, and as a result, they know they have a very safe blue.
Let's see, does Broto actually have an Oracles at the moment?
Broto does not.
Oh, okay. So
but unfortunately, Kog'Maw getting caught out here. The ultimate from Soaz, very quickly they're able to pick him up. The Sona ultimate as well. Twisted Advance, the cleanse from Raleigh is almost getting out of there, and he does with the help of Janna. I can't believe he didn't go down, but Anivia with the wall, they're able to back out of there and disengage, but just not quite enough follow-up damage from Fnatic.
But it still takes Kog'Maw out of the fight, and that's what they're looking to do quite a bit. Right now, Gamehoppers, they need Kog'Maw in the back line for a huge part of their damage. And with that gone for the time being, this does allow a little bit of opportunity for Fnatic to go ahead and get the push they need down onto this tower. And just that orb out in front is like, you there? Yeah. Boom. Damage. Hawkton could actually go down here. There you go. The egg did not come back up, but Broto looking for the engage. Exhaust going down onto Shyvana, trying to get as much damage down as possible. You see El Muppo, maybe the next one to go down here, and yes, the Ghoul actually did go down onto Kog'Maw just in case, but it may actually expire before he goes down. Cyanide getting the kill onto Shyvana there, and Fnatic really convincingly a 4 for free. Kog'Maw being forced back again, and XP, he'll go ahead and take that turret to tier 2, and bot does go down.
Yeah, and so they're able to continue pressuring these advantages. They're actually going to be able to take the space turret as well, because Kog'Maw shouldn't be able to defend it by himself. If Ezreal can get in on him with that red buff, the actual QW, and then one more attack, will be able to pick it up. XPK is pretty low, but he has enough distance. Oh, but he's trapped up against the turret. He can't tank it, and as a result, he does go down. But they do pick up this base turret. They're actually very close to grabbing the inhibitor if they decide to go for this.
They should be able to, but they're going to go ahead and play it safe. Now everyone from Gamehoppers actually comes back up, stick from behind, but it looks like they're going for an ambush here because they know that theoretically they're going to be going down. Oh, there's the Malphite ult. Lots of damage coming on in, and there's the ult from Ezreal doing quite a bit, finishing off the Anivia. Still no egg, but there's a huge, huge moment of opportunity here, but El Muppo just does not have the damage since Kog'Maw's not around.
Yeah, and that's the issue, is Fnatic, they're all very low, but
there's no damage.
Gamehoppers, there's no damage, and even with Kog'Maw, they're very low on damage at this point. Yeah. They just don't quite have enough to deal with Fnatic. And so Fnatic, they know they can sit around. They know they can pick those people up. I'm a little bit surprised they didn't pressure the inhibitor, but again, Kog was coming up, so they're playing it safe. They knew they were extremely low. That trick wasn't going to work twice, and they will back off. But Ezreal is just an absolute monster so far. 4-1-7, 230 CS, compared with the 160 for Kog'Maw. And Kog'Maw just barely scratching the surface of his build, while at the same time, Ezreal already has the Trinity Force, the Bloodthirster, and the Last Whisper. So he has plenty of damage. Right.
he's traveling enough, but he's safe in the back line. That he's okay. But I also noticed this too on Orianna's build. Sold the cooldown boots, got the Sork boots.
Yeah,
changing
that's
it up,
interesting.
Getting the spell pen, just to tack on a little bit of extra insult to injury, but does have the Athenes.
Yeah,
I think that's enough cooldown reduction just on that to kind of make up and make the boot switch worthwhile.
Yeah,
so who's getting chunked out big time? Wow. That is Kog'Maw and bot. Wow, nice snipe.
The no look snipe.
The no look no scope. That's a frag video.
Yeah, but he's able to pick that up.
Record that, put that in a little replay, put that on YouTube, put some Linkin Park on it. It's done.
We have to show the same exact kill like 10 times in a row. They are pressuring this Baron. Ezreal isn't there, though, but even so, they probably Gamehoppers probably doesn't have enough damage to deal with them. Actually, Orianna chasing after Bristletoad, trying to get him out of there. Anivia trying to put some pressure on this mid, and they do have to worry about this because they don't quite have enough damage to take down that dragon. Hawkton way out of position, though, and they can't take him down. Malphite with the ultimate, they just don't have enough damage to deal with Fnatic. The one last Q isn't able to do it, so Anivia is safe on the outside, but Yorick will be going down if they continue the chase. Maokai with the twisted advance, the flash over the wall with the Janna support, so they might be able to get out, but here is Lamia. They're able to follow him, and there it is, the surrender. They knew that game was long gone. Fnatic with the awesome play, and the Orianna just in so much control. Both Orianna and Ezreal worked out very well. They had really nice poke. They were very survivable. It was a really interesting play. I definitely need to consider Orianna more.
I need to buy Orianna. I gotta buy that lady now. It's just
And
very, very impressive.
the thing is, we've seen a lot of Orianna recently, but a lot of times you look at her as an AoE fight control champion with, you know, an initiator like Malphite or Maokai. And her laning phase is very strong. That's another strength she brings to the table. She's one of the stronger laners in the game. But having that in and out poke and kiting potential is huge. And that, you know, we saw that a lot with XPK in that game. So there you go, 2-0 for Fnatic. Some really nice stats for them. XPK 312 CS just before the 30-minute mark. Really
good.
nice job. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, and here's the thing too with Orianna, that we have seen her recently enough, both pre, during, and post changes. Like while all those patches were actually coming by, because I believe, like I think Dignitas actually played a game or two with Orianna before the changes were actually even ever introduced.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams that have done that.
And then you had there's still tweaks ever coming, ever coming through for Orianna these past few patches, and just everyone's starting to figure it out. It's like, yeah, we should be really utilizing her with the team. And now it just makes sense too with Malphite being so popular in the current meta. The synergies on the ults are just so nice. It's great to have.
Orbit actually likes playing Orianna a lot also. So Nubby Pooh Bear, he plays a lot of Orianna. We'll see though. SK versus Black. Bacon lovers are crazy cool. Yeah, that will be the next game. I'm definitely excited for that.
They're pretty popular guys recently too, going over to Summer Arena. But you know what? I think we're gonna do what we can to try and get that up for you as soon as possible. This might be a little bit of a longer break than usual as we go ahead and get that game arranged. But hey, thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for watching Fnatic and Gamehoppers. Gamehoppers gonna be moving on down to the challenger brackets. Fnatic's going to be staying in the elites next time around as well. We'll see how far they get and how much they can get of the $3,000 American prize pool. But coming up next on stream, SK versus Black. As soon as we get that game set up, we will come right back and see you in just a minute.